It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Liteforex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good afternoon, 3 p.m. CT, 2 p.m. London. Piotr here, meaning that this afternoon educational live trading room only here on Liteforex global YouTube channel. Very quiet morning in terms of the FX. Yeah, actually indices, gold, crude as well. The action right now is on the spread between US 10s and German 10s yields. We are going to discuss about this, and that might put euro under pressure, and that might put actually the overall price action with the yields might put the pressure on the indices. So market may want to pressure the risk on ahead of the Powell during the Jackson Hole symposium on Friday. Anyway, we are going to have a time to cover all of these things. Let's start with risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind, trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk. May not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investments, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so what we have, where we are, what's going to happen in terms of the calendar, nothing extraordinary. It's like Canadian manufacturing sales being done. A little bit better than what market was expecting, but still negative compare month to month. Minus 1.2%, minus 1.8 was expectations, plus 1.6 was previous one. Market is also waiting for GDT price index, and it's mainly focused from the Kiwi traders perspective. We are going to tomorrow we are going to get the busy afternoon from the Canadian CPI perspective, but don't forget, we start at 8 a.m. CT, 7 a.m. London. We are going to cover pre-London Open tomorrow, and then at 2 p.m. CET, 1 p.m. London, we are going to prepare ourselves for Canadian CPI. Probably we are going to get the first comments in relation to the Jackson Hole symposium. Thursday we are going to have a busy morning. Thursday we do pre-London Open, as well as we are going to cover European PMI data. And Friday there is a morning meeting scheduled, pre-London Open, but maybe if I'm around, maybe we are going to have the special edition of the afternoon meeting, and maybe we are going to check what market is going to do after the Powell speech during the Jackson Hole symposium. All right, so that's how the things looks like from the calendar perspective, from our meetings perspective. As I mentioned, market is stable, market is quiet. There is a little bit of the move on the pound. The thing is that we are discussing 2090 as the level to watch from the eventually long perspective. There was stop count through the trend line. Now very interesting situation, because we went below yesterday low and we are trying to recover twice already, and as you can see, both we were rejected, and so it's gonna be very interesting during this US cash session what next for cable, right? If you remember, in June we held 3 educational webinars. We were discussing many different things, a few strategies, and I see here possibility of the business finish from the swing low perspective intraday. Of course, from the daily chart perspective, the thing is that we have to get back and close above yesterday low, right? To just eventually confirm that what we've seen earlier today was nothing else than just stop hunt. There is a possibility we are going to see a little bit more pound downside from here, because we didn't hit yet quite the supply on the euro pound, right? We were discussing this morning that move back towards 92 plus. That might be eventually the opportunity to reopen. Of course, this opportunity arose yesterday as well, based on based on one-to-one wave. But let me first, because the scenario here been played out as you can see, so let me clean the chart already. Okay, when I'm talking about the one-to-one, yesterday it was this one-to-one, so congratulations to anyone who was able to trade that one. But I think that today it might be those 2 waves might be treated as a one, and we are about to see, after this pullback we had measured to the upside, and that's gonna be our supply towards 92 plus, right? That's what I think is going to happen. That's why I think it might be still pound a little bit under pressure overall. We will see, right? That would be also the top of the channel, third touch, nicely done once we are going to be there, right? So that's how it looks from pound perspective. I have to apologize for a little bit of noise. I decided because of the beautiful weather, I decided to go outside, to work outside a little bit today. Was trying to find some good space. Unfortunately, as you can hear, it's not that easy. So, but hopefully it's not gonna disturb you that much. So that's what we have from the pound perspective, both euro pound and pound USD. Now we are going to talk a little bit about the euro dollar, as there is a market is trying to finish the business here as well, right? And we were discussing that as long as the swing low holds, the swing low created at the beginning of the month, and actually we are testing the beginning of the month right now again, right? Or we are around. It might be a little bit wider range. I'm talking about 1050, 1250, but, and that's the very important. Let's switch to the spread chart. I'm going to show you one thing. That's monster, and we are talking here about That's the spread between the German 10-year yields and US 10-year yields, right? And that's the weekly chart. That's the weekly chart. And as you can see, if we are trying to connect two latest low before we hit new low, right? There is a still space and still the euro dollar might be under pressure from that spread. Let's switch to smaller time frame, because there was some kind of the correction yesterday. That was that one of the reason euro was a little bit quiet, right? That's how it looks. Friday, Monday, right? That's what we've seen attempt to rally. I still think that it's a possibility that we are going to try to end the day today with the lower shadow, and if we are going to get the close above the weekly open, that might be positive from that spread trading perspective. And overall, in that case, that might be also a little bit more towards euro. That should also help euro pound to push prices higher. But overall, we need to get back above minus 45, right? Minus 0.45. Now let's switch lower, and yeah, there is a chance that maybe we'll try to hold the low, and overall at least for some time to make such a consolidation, to have it in place ahead of the Jackson's Hole. Of course, the history here is the article from the Financial Times about possible ECB package much bigger than what market is expecting. Then was also the Germany saying that in case of recession, but I don't know what they are talking about in case of the recession. They are technically under the recession. They might ease the budget rules. Also, when we are talking about the ECB and European Union, also Italian internal problems as well. So plenty of different things here, euro related, right? And earlier today, we had a discussion with Michał, macro guy, and we were discussing the things Brexit related, right? And to be honest with you, that's what I pointed during our conversation with Michał. That's what I pointed, that I'm not surprised that the Boris Johnson is trying to negotiate something more, something new, reopen some things, because it's a very good moment. European Union is weak right now, right? Plenty of internal problems, so that might be the name of the game for Boris Johnson. And I've been trying to explain the situation based on same what we have in between US and China. Why President Trump is so aggressive with tariffs, because he knows that right now trying to compare US and China economic growth, we know that China got a little bit a bit of the problems here. On the other hand, the US data is really good, and US is doing very well. So you know, when your opponent is weak, that's when you are trying to get out something of this, right? Take out something of this. Anyway, the spread here is not supporting the risk as well, because this whole price action related to the yields. Yeah, I think it's not gonna work positive way when we are talking about the indices. So let's get back to the chart. and let's get back to this euro dollar. So overall, yesterday upper shadow, today's upper shadow, and the fact that we are below yesterday low right now, of course, not supporting euro. The only support is based on the previous swing low around the current levels. That's where the bulls will try to find the support. That's my way of thinking, right? The question about bears perspective, I think in case of the attempt to go higher above 11.15, right, towards 11.30, I'm talking about the low from the 14th of August, which has not been tested, as you can see, right? So that's where probably that's where the supply resides. So in case of the retest of this 50% of that range, that's gonna be 50% of that range as well, something like this, right? We are talking about the 5th of August. That's where the supply may reside. That's how I see those things going on. Some spike higher towards 11.30, 11.40 might be used as the selling opportunity. Buyers trying to defend this swing low. That's the first option. The second option might be the case with psychological 110 level. And if you remember what we were discussing earlier with euro dollar, we were discussing this one as a range. So in case of the breakdown, that's the 200 pips range, we might revisit 108, 107.50 again in case of breakthrough 110. And to be honest with you, I don't want anyone to be biased by my comments, right? Because each of us has to do own research. But of course, taking into the consideration all those things we discussed, the euro dollar bulls might be under pressure. So it's worth to monitor bond market, the spread as well, and of course follow all the upcoming news, Italy related especially, right? Then what I've mentioned at the very beginning, on Thursday we are going to cover European PMI, and the German numbers are gonna be the key here. Okay, around 11 minutes left. To US cash open. We discussed euro dollar, pound dollar, euro pound. So let's have a look where we are from dollar yen perspective, and then let's have a look where we are from the Nasdaq perspective. There are two supply zones, and we discussed this morning on Nasdaq. Either one tested already, but in case of big 1-to-1, we discussed it this morning. Still space towards 7,850, 7,900 as well. So we'll get back to Nasdaq first. Dollar yen. What we were talking about, the price action to the upside towards 107, 107.20. 30 as a selling opportunity in case of the rejection, as well as retest 105.30, 105, bottom of the range as a buying opportunity. Because overall, what we have here, what I think we can agree for the last few days, nothing else. That's the range, right? And yeah, that's how I see the things here. In case of the breakout, there is very similar to what we have on euro dollar, around 105, 107 range, meaning we have two figures, 200 pips. So in case of break to the upside, we are talking about the move back towards 109, maybe 109 plus towards 110. In case of the breakdown of 105, we are talking about the levels 103, 102, and from higher time frame perspective, we are talking about, when we're talking about 105, 103, 102, we are talking about this swing low which has been created after the election, and trying to finish the business from the weekly chart perspective. The levels we discussed, right, as you can see here, 103, 102, that's the perfect zone. So both possible breakdown could provide the move towards the psychological levels, right? On one hand, we are talking about 110 to the upside. On the other hand, psychological level to the downside is the post-election dollar yen price action, post-US election price action, right? There is one more thing from my perspective may cause trouble here. Depends how we are going to get that, because if you remember during this webinars we held in June, when I've been sharing some strategies, I also mentioned, and from time to time I'm talking about this strategy, the falling on their own weight, right, or rising, falling on their own weight. It's when, you know, market is trying to find the bottom and have some kind of the equal bottoms, but then each rally is lower high compared to the previous rally, right? And then we have the flat line and plenty of stops below, and that's what I can see here in the dollar yen, just around 105. And we saw the rally from 105. We will see what's going to happen within next few days. From the dollar perspective, Wednesday evening we do have FOMC minutes, so the report after the last FOMC meeting. So we will see, and then of course Friday, Powell, which is under huge White House pressure, or under huge pressure from the White House administration. So yeah, how it was last time from Mr. President Trump, dear Powell, cut 1%. But with this data, I don't know. Why should we cut if everything is okay, or maybe it's not okay? Anyway, from the short-term perspective, again, trying to summarize, dollar yen range 105, 105.30 to the bottom, 107, 107.30 to the upside. So that's some kind of the range. In case of close above, in case of today's close above weekly open, from the daily chart perspective, there might be another attempt to try to get back towards 107. But in that case, we should see some kind of the risk on sentiment. But as of now, 4.5 minutes ahead of the US cash open, we are trying to reject yesterday high. So let's check one more time on Nasdaq. On Nasdaq, what might be the case here, right? So the first thing first, the range created on the 9th of July, right? Especially the open around 7,774, right? That's what has been tested around the 13th of August. So overall, what we might try to do right now, right now, that's the possible supply, in my opinion. That's what we have here, right? That's the one thing. But also, as I mentioned before, it could be some kind of one-to-one attempt, and in that case 7,850, maybe 7,900 could be the name of the game as well, and that would be the retest of the latest demand. What I have in my mind, is this latest rally here, right? Is this latest rally here. After the pullback we hit new high than the Niagara Falls, right? So either we are going to react around current level, but I think that could be the case as well, right? But this upper shadow from the 1st of August could be read it as the zone being tested already. So either here or a little bit higher. In case of the bullish attempt, I think that the first is around 7,562 based on my chart compared to what we've seen to the left. A lot of action lately here. Market is trying to figure it out, the direction, and if the market cannot figure it out the direction, we shouldn't be in a rush to try to trade, right? That's the best way to be trapped. Anyway, from intraday perspective, we are going to watch very carefully. Maybe we are going to get just the stop count above yesterday high and move a little bit lower. What could be in that case, what could be our target? I think that as low as earlier mentioned 7,550, 7,500. So it's worth to watch Nasdaq, and from that perspective, and we will see. We have still 2 minutes to go. So briefly, gold. That's the probable range discussed this morning. So we are in the middle of the range right now, so nothing to do here. And oil, from the higher time frame perspective, another attempt to try to make some short squeeze. In case of the higher levels, we are talking about the retest of 59, 50, 60. In case of the failure here, it might be uglier than some may think. Anyway, let's get back to the Nasdaq chart. Let's prepare ourselves. Usually we are watching first 5-minute trading range. That's not gonna be different today. We are going to watch first 10 minutes of the US cash open, then we will have first break today, and we will get back around top of the hour. Okay, 30 seconds. Five seconds. And the US cash market is open. From the bears perspective, I think bears want to see a quick spike to the upside, taking out yesterday high, today's high, failure at the top, some kind of the rejection. That probably what the bears are looking for after yesterday strong day. Because if you want to, let's try to discuss it from the a little bit wider perspective, right? So if there is such a pressure via yields, right, that something is going on, the pressure on the Powell, so probably another level of pressure might be created from the market sell-off. So I'm not gonna be surprised to see, maybe not today, but tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, some stronger pullback, right, and waiting for the Powell reaction. But I'm not sure if it's going to help. But if I would be able to move the market, that's eventually how I would like to do this stuff. But as of now, as you can see, very narrow range for now. We are talking about 10 points only. Euro dollar trying to recover. Pound USD fighting with this Monday low. Euro dollar trying to recover. Let me have a look what we have on that spread. The spread is trying to hold the bottom right now, building a lower shadow. So that might support euro, especially that from euro pound perspective, what we discussed, there is still space to hit some higher levels. Oh my. It's very narrow. Okay, that looks a little bit better right now. So we are taking out this just pre-market low. The stops might be under this level or even under this level. That might be the case as well. So let's place the line somewhere here. And let's check if the market will try to spike down the... Yeah, already there. So now we have 24 points. That's much better than what we saw a minute ago. All right, testing. Area of the possible stop. Below. Now the top of that 1 minute candle, daily cash open, that's very important levels. Probably we are not gonna hit the high, so that's the top of the first 5-minute trading range, and looks like it's the bottom of the first 5-minute trading range, or we are going to get lower. No, it's a bottom. Right at the line, exactly to the point we discussed a second ago. Now, question about what we are going to see here. Okay, trying to take out the low. So let's switch to the higher time frame, and we are taking out the low from where we made the high yesterday. That's significant, and some of you may see something close to double top formation here. There's a attempt to hold this tiny trend line. So it doesn't look good right now from the bull's perspective. But I would say it's too fast, too early. We'll see. I think that the retest of the daily open where we are, can we create some upper shadow? Of course we can. We may try to fight this white range, something similar to what we've seen here. So yeah, I think it's not end of the game to the upside yet. I'm not saying from the buying perspective. I'm saying eventually from the rejection perspective. So that's the first 5-minute trading range. In case of, looks like there was a stop hand only. In case of trying to double that range, look, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm waiting for. I wanna see this double top to be taken out just by 2-3 points and to see the rejection. So it would be good to hold the first 5-minute bottom right now during the retest. That would be positive. During the second part of our meeting today, we are going to check different FX crosses. Maybe we will find something to be tradable during this New York session. There was a looks like that's what I've been talking about. Looks like that's the test. And now they should try to fight for the rally. Anyway, we are approaching first break during our today's meeting. So the bar is open first time today. Tea, coffee, mineral water, non-alcoholic drinks, whatever you want. I'm going to mute myself. Charles are gonna stay with us. I'll be back around the top. Of the hour, guys. Enjoy the break. Welcome back to the second part. Plenty of things going on, especially the Merkel comment. We'll think about the practical solution to the backstop. That's what caused the market move to the upside. Quickly retest yesterday high, took the stops, testing 50%. I like the current price action around 21.25. Probably I'm going to decide for tiny long. I'm going to risk $12 pips, and I'm going to target yesterday high, something around 46, 48 pips. We'll see. So at least 3R is here. We need to hold this level over here, otherwise. So market completely surprised by this Merkel comment. We might see a deeper pullback because of this to settle the dust. And the next is gonna be yesterday low retest, right? Looks like they wanna hit this stop. We'll see. I took this level. That's the latest level of the weakness here during the European session, right? So hopefully we can hold via lower shadow here. Completely surprised. Also, in the meantime, Italy Prime Minister Conte says the crisis probably means the end of this government, as well as says he will go to the president after the debate to resign. We'll see. That's not necessarily euro positive, right? So overall, euro pound, we saw the spike to the downside, as you can see here, right? But you know what? Market doesn't like when there is an unfinished business, so either we're going to see a stronger euro rally than the cable rally, or we are going to resettle everything and start from the scratch, right? So watching very carefully. It's pure speculative approach here from my side. 12 pip stop. Looking for this latest weakness to hold in case of the break of this level, right? Let's have a look on the smaller time frame. We might see the revisit of the yesterday low. That's where we had a problem, and looks like I'm going to be out. Market want me out, not yet. Okay. Then I may try again, try to grab long around the yesterday low, right? I'm going to take into that consideration that weakness then, all right? Very tiny exposure, so in case of being out, if I'm going to get another chance, I might even increase a little bit the exposure here, so we will see. Euro dollar spiked as well. Euro dollar is backed above the Monday low as well, but still below weekly open. But here is what we discussed during the first part, plus what we got during the break. The plenty of news. So we need to get back above this 25 SAP. That's going to be positive. So it might be treated as a test, and we might see the continuation higher. We'll see. Survived by pip or so for now. That was the price action around the option expiration. The option guys, some option guys were hit, whoa, incredibly. That's what I think. Okay, we have 1-to-1 here. Dollar yen trying to spike higher, indices. What I don't like here is the Captain Hook formation. Would be good to see the retest of the weekly open. I'm very curious where we are going to be closer to the London fix. There is one more cross which might be even more interesting. It's a pound yen. We are talking about this consolidation. I've mentioned this morning there is no rejection. Then we saw the rejection. I didn't do anything. It might be, you know, with good imagination, that might be inverted head and shoulders and 130, 180, 132 as a target. I might decide to, you know, to switch between. But what I need here is to get back and hold inside this range here, right? The stop here is gonna be unfortunately much wider. So I'm going to think about the pound yen a little bit later. That's not good here. We should run away from here as SAP. Come on. Push that higher. From the daily chart perspective, we are still inside the range created, which has been created here on the 6th of August, right? So that's the latest weakness, and we are still inside. So I'm going from that perspective. Let's wait for a daily close. If we can get the close above yesterday and Friday high, that could be something. So watching cable, still being long here on cable. All right, I don't wanna be the loser here, so +1, so I'm going to cover the commission, and I wanna see the break here higher. If not, then we can still trade that around the London fix. $24 is gonna be 54, and 50 is a weekly open. If we are going spike here, I might grab this 221 and be happy ahead of the London open, ahead of the London fix, I'm sorry. And the second part of the US session in that case might be very, very, very interesting. Because it all might be risk on related in that case. Just, you know, let's use it as a risk on solution. And there was a lot of talks how negative the Brexit is going to be. So if the Merkel is saying that they will think about the practical solution to the backstop, but guys, you know what? If you were listening us this morning, me and Michał, and I've mentioned even during the first part, I repeat that again, right? That because of internal problems, Germany, the mess with the Italian government, there is a chance they will going to be good. I'm talking about the Boris Johnson current action, right? So I'm not surprised here. Oh, come on! Push it higher. So in case of the break, previous high, 42, I'm going to, euro is going higher, spiking towards 111 pound. So I'm going to move my stop to secure something more. It's good that oh my. 35, so securing 10. Oh no, just 5, securing 5. 5 is secured right now. But have you seen this spike? It looks like I'm gonna be fine with 5 pips here. Or maybe, yeah. So let's have a look if we can retest 25 again and how we are going to behave there. Let's have a look why euro is moving right now. So this spike to the downside hit me, but let's have a look if we can retest so I can reopen this. If you are watching me for a while, you know that I don't like the trades around the London fix. So the spike to the downside, I reacted quickly. Green is green. But I thought that it was okay, but because this is a 25, my open was a little bit higher. That's why I was confused for a second. There is one more option if that was the pullback. So how high can we go to retest yesterday low? So yeah, we should retest these levels around the weekly open a little bit higher. Because if the bulls wants to see the continuation, they have to hold yesterday low around 21 this time. So now I can get back into the pound yen idea. So we're trying to hold the spike we've seen 2 hours ago on this pullback. Quite not get there yet. So it might be case of retest. Still is a little bit of the gap here. Okay. But also from the intraday perspective, that's the latest weakness. We saw just spike higher. Need a little bit more action here. Maybe I was too aggressive with this stop moving. But I think there is going to be the opportunity as well again. To be honest with you, I thought, frankly speaking, I thought that those two shadows were tests already. But looks like those two were tests. Not good. Anyway, we will see the price action around the weekly open. That's gonna be the key for us to try to understand what next. I'm going to probably place the order around these levels, not too big one, tiny one. With a little bit wider stop. Trying to retest weekly open here from the pound perspective, trying to create this lower shadow that would suggest some buying activity towards the end of the hour, but still plenty of time, and at the same time that's gonna be London fix. So not in rush here. So let's check where we are from the Nasdaq perspective. That's what I've mentioned during the first part. We are going to retest cash open at least. But if you remember, I also said that I'm rather more interested to see the market doing the same size of the first 5-minute trading range to the upside above the cash open, hitting the stops above today's and yesterday high. That's what I'm gonna to look for. Euro is back above the weekly open, so trying to hold this latest weakness here with some tiny stop count. That's the early latest weakness, a little bit below, but trying to hold, right? So the key is the zone, yesterday low, and the weekly open, right? But with all this mess, Italy related, Germany related, it cannot be that the backstop solution is going to push euro higher. I don't want to discuss with the market, trying to explain to myself. Let's have a look if this top of the Tokyo as well as this spike high is going to be enough for buyers, or we are going to retest yesterday lows of something around 50% pullback. What the action ahead of the option expiration? Maybe it was ordered. I wouldn't be surprised. Not at all. All right, so let's try to check what is going on briefly. Pound is retesting weekly open, and again the overall pound spike based on the Merkel comment. We will think about the practical solution to the backstop. Euro was trying to join the party, so overall dollar weakness here. We've seen as well market to push back, especially on Nasdaq, towards the New York cash open. So trying to create some positive sentiment here, right now, right here. So in that case, if that's gonna continue, then instead of maybe trading directly cable, I may try to navigate via pound yen. Okay, probably the stop is going to be a little bit wider, but in terms of risk reward, taking into the consideration that we are have a possibility to trade towards 31.80, 32 from risk reward perspective, that could be even better. Now, if there are gonna be risk on, right, sentiment, and we see pound rising and cable rising and dollar yen rising, there's gonna be double kick for pound yen. So that's why immediately I started to think about the pound yen possibility here. We'll see. At least something started to happen, right? There is a bit of action right now. Also, the speed of this rejection on the cable is worth to mention. Of course, it was related to the options, to the FX options guys, to the option market. with expiration at 10 a.m. New York. So that was, looks like few desks had emergency calls trying to probably fade that spike. Euro is fading. The rally is fading right now on Euro. So maybe 50% of the Tokyo range, top of that zone, yesterday low. All of this might be in play right now. Of course, based on what we get, I might look pure speculation, same what I did with the cable to try to rebuy pound. But in talking about the euro, I'm watching for the levels from where we can see the rally, because but I'm not yet euro buyer, right? I want to see the rally towards 11:30 and to see the reaction around here to have a possibility eventually to fade that rally. I do prefer to fade euro rally than the cable rally, at least for now. Gold not affected. With dollar, of course, with euro and pound more affected. Chinese yuan fighting with this spike high, with this swing high. So overall, I'm not surprised with this Merkel comment. Maybe timing is questionable, but overall, no, I'm not surprised. We were discussing this morning. I repeat that. I repeated that during the first part. And immediately we slow it down. So there is probably the preparation towards the London fix is going on right now. They're trying to figure it out how they can manipulate the market for the next 30 minutes or so ahead of the London fix, to either recover what happened an hour ago or to double what they earned an hour ago. Just a reminder, green on pound, just few pips, but still green is green. What I like is that we found the good place, right? And the 12 pip stop was enough, survived by 1 pip or so. Then the rally, and on this 1 minute, those 2 retests over here. Anyway, green is green. So we discussed this weekly open levels around the weekly open. In case of the 1-to-1, we've moved back But if we are going to start falling from here, I may try to reconsider the entry. Yeah, it might be that I have to switch off or cancel and put a little bit lower. 2090 was the level we were discussing this morning, so it might be, but I think it's yesterday low, it could be more important. The thing is where we are going to be around the London fix, what's gonna be the preparation for tomorrow from that perspective. Maybe not to that, maybe. Let's change it. Let's make it without the shadows. That would be better. The breakout candle over here. We'll see. So I'm going to push it a little bit lower, but I'm going to watch eventually the price action around yesterday low. You know, towards end of the day, you wanna be somewhere around current level, because if we are going to be much lower towards the end of the day, if for example, if I'm gonna be filled, my stop is going to survive, but end of the day is gonna be around the entry that's gonna be long upper shadow on daily chart, and I'm not sure if I want to stay with this position overnight. On the Nasdaq, bulls were able to retest cash open for now, so let's have a look bottom of this first 5-minute trading range, if it holds or no. But still, with Nasdaq, I do prefer to see the price action above yesterday and today's high and to see the rejection, right? But looks like not enough money to push market higher. Retest of the cash open right now only. But trying to react at the bottom of the first 5-minute trading range. There is a reaction for now on Nasdaq. Let's get back and see what is going on again on euro dollar. As you can see, weekly open work fine for now as a supply. Again, I'm not a fan of euro. That's what you already know. Pound yen, in case of trying to reopen pound long, as I've mentioned before, in case of the positive sentiment, but I can't see positive sentiment right now. But it might be that I'm going to go via yen instead of via dollar. Euro pound. We didn't quite get there yet, but somehow some kind of the manipulation and we will spike towards 92.05, 92.10. And the cable, it's all about right now, ahead of the London fix, it's all about yesterday low and weekly open. Some more Italian saga right now. An election, Salvini, an election is the best solution, but Lega Party is willing to stay in government to approve budget. I've seen some stats. I'm sorry, it's unconfirmed because I don't have a link handy to provide to you, but I've seen that there was the Italy is the only country where the post World War II there was many governments, plenty of demission, plenty of changes. It was in Italy. I will try to find the stats. In terms of the yields all around the world, there is a comment on CNBC done by Kaylee Bass that US will follow rest of the world, and we are about to see zero. So, towards the end of the day, in case of risk on sentiment during the second part of the US session, I may look for pound yen instead of pound dollar. Would like to see the rally on Nasdaq as high as towards yesterday and today's high to take the stops out. That would double the range of the first 5 minutes. Right now looks like towards the end of the first part of the US session is gonna be like, they will try to figure it out what next. Pound is falling right now. So approaching ahead of the London fix, approaching yesterday low. Big rejection on euro dollar, testing yesterday low as well. So overall right now, stronger dollar. And what we discussed earlier today, in case of the daily close above weekly open, that's where we've seen the rejection. It might be bullish case for dollar yen as well. So that's why I want to see the price action on cable, and in case of the positive price action on cable, in case of the positive price action on dollar yen, that's one of the reasons I want to trade pound yen, right? But as of now, retest of this broken range we discussed this morning, spike based on the Merkel comment, rejection again. Just a friendly reminder, guys, tomorrow is Wednesday and we are about to cover pre-London Open, 8 a.m. CET, 7 a.m. London. Then we are going to cover Canadian CPI and we start the meeting at 2 p.m. CET, 1 p.m. London. Then Thursday we are going to cover pre-London Open and then we are going to cover European PMI. Friday pre-London Open, and if I'm around we are going to, I can't promise, it's not scheduled, guys, it's not scheduled, it might be scheduled last minute. In case I'm around Friday, we will eventually cover Powell speech live. So just 2-minute price action only on cable and FX pairs related to the pound. Yeah, it was just 2-minute action, guys. And we got back to the lower volatility immediately. That was 2 minutes, that's the 1 minute chart. So 2 candles. 2 minutes action and we done. And get back to no volatility day. So without the Merkel comments, that would be, boring. Anyway, guys, that was my pleasure to be with you today. Not big deal. Did speculative trade on the pound, dollar, on other words, in cable. Just few green pips, but green is green. Don't be trapped later during the day. And join me tomorrow when we are going to cover pre-London Open live here only on Liteforex Global YouTube channel. Have a great rest of the US session. And goodbye, guys.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Liteforex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.